And now we are about to discover the main problem for white in this variation, which is the bishop on f1. Because to attack with pieces, not only with the pawns, because we ain't generally getting a lot if we only do that, we have to develop the bishop f1 somehow. We have to find wood squares, and hopefully we shall use this bishop in attack. That's in theory, because when we are unraveling our position as white in here, we are going to realize that there are no wood squares for the bishop, and because of that, after say h4, continuing with the pawn storm, knight c6, and bishop h3 is generally played. The reason of this move, offering an exchange of a piece that I have said is not very comfortable in the attack, is because we can't find a better square for it, and we're going to see the other squares where we can develop the bishop, and it will actually disturb and forbid our other pieces to develop, or even slow our attack. So let's stick first to bishop h3, and after a normal response of black developing with knight c5, if we exchange our problem piece with bishop e6, black would be clever to retain with the f pawn, because, and this is just normal theory, not specifically of the Najdorf, a pawn storm of 2 against 2 tends to end up in a blocked pawn structure more often than if we attacked against 3 pawns. That is because if we advance, say we have already played h5, and now if we advance 1 pawn, doesn't matter if it's g or h, black would answer advancing the other pawn, and we don't have other pawn to take. Say for example, if h5 is played with this pawn still being on f6, we then, and following the normal plan of a pawn storm, would break in the center with g6, and if black doesn't want to take, doesn't matter, because we could still take both of the pawns. And if black wanted to advance, say this or this pawn, doesn't matter, because we could still take the other one. So we have more possibilities attacking with a pawn storm against 3 if we are advancing 2 pawns than against 2. Nonetheless, these kind of positions where we can't where we can look for an immediate break shall be played by white for a lasting advantage. I mean, if we have a blocking pawn on the 6th square, that is going to help us a lot in the end game, because we will slow down the maneuvering of the king when black wants to centralize it after. And if we manage to remove or at least pressure on the pawns that will be on the 7th rank, they are blocking our pawn on the 6th rank, we have very good chances of getting a very good passed pawn. This could continue, for example, queen g4, queen g7, castle long, as in usual in these positions. And well, as I have said, no, we don't have a lot of pawn storming possibilities, but we can get our pawn on the 6th rank just to bet on it to have a special role later in the end game. A player that wants to achieve the a pawn storm with 3 pawns would say that here, instead of advancing just 2, we could maneuver and try to break with f4 in order to have more space and hopefully more coordination with our pieces. But that I would only try if playing against a very passive and generally a bad player, because if we are beginning to maneuver, we have just to stick in our minds that black pawn storm is going to be faster. And one of the reasons, of course, is we have to get rid of the of our white bishop.